from the Don and Lorena Meyer studio at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln College of Journalism and Mass Communications, this is Nebraska Nightly.
Good afternoon and happy Valentine's Day. Welcome to Nebraska Nightly. I'm Mackenzie Noble.
And I'm Hayden Hudson. Across the United States, a flu outbreak that could rival the COVID outbreak is spreading. Lincoln is seeing its most cases in years. That's our top story tonight.
Lincoln has seen a small outbreak of the bird flu, the first of its kind since testing began last May.
UNL College of Public Health Dean Ali Khan explains how this is happening.
Hens are getting infected with a type of influenza called H5N1 influenza. And this probably, we have culled or killed over 150 million birds over the last 3 years because of their infections. Now, unfortunately, what's happened is that this influenza virus has also found its way into cattle.
Despite the concerns about the new strand of the virus, the ways to limit the spread are simple.
So if you're working with poultry, if you're working with infected dairy, make sure that you're wearing personal protective equipment, make sure that you're vaccinated. As far as eggs and poultry are concerned, cook them, right? So don't eat undercooked poultry, don't eat undercooked eggs,
Besides this outbreak of bird flu, the traditional influenza virus continues to break out at alarming rates nationwide.
CNN's Mandy Gaither has more in today's Health Minute.
This flu season continues to worsen. Cases, hospitalizations, and deaths are all trending up, according to CDC data.
This is the most severe season that we've seen in terms of numbers of cases in about 15 years.
Dr. Daniel Kariskis with Brigham and Women's Hospital says symptoms of flu can include high fever, muscle aches, body pain, and headache. But he says if red flags are present, like a persistently high fever, shortness of breath, or difficulty breathing, it's time to get emergency help, as it may mean pneumonia is developing.
We don't think that the cases themselves are more severe or that this strain is causing worse flu than in a typical season. It's just so much more frequent.
Kariskis says those at highest risk of getting severely sick are seniors and those with some pre-existing medical conditions like heart disease and lung disease. While flu cases typically peak in February, he says it's still not too late to get protection through vaccination.
Even if you've had flu earlier in the season, you should still get vaccinated because there are two different types of flu that can circulate, and having one type doesn't protect you against the other. So get vaccinated if you haven't been.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
President Donald Trump announced on February 7th a series of NIH federal grant cuts. These research cuts would minimize spending for medical research in hospitals and colleges, including UNL. On February 8th, the University of Nebraska Systems President Jeffrey Gold sent out an email to students regarding this implementation. The email stated that the NIH would impose a standard indirect cost rate of 15% on all NIH grants. Gold stated that the universities in Nebraska would be closely monitoring federal actions that would affect the institutions. As of February 12th, a federal judge in Massachusetts has temporarily blocked these proposed cuts.
Well, we've been seeing lots of snow and wind these past couple days, and I've learned that I am just not a fan of it at all.
Meteorologist Logan Schlottman has more on what to expect today. Logan?
Well, saying if you didn't like snow, there's going to be more chances for that coming over the weekend and potentially all the way into Tuesday. But let's talk about what we saw the past 72 hours with that one main storm that we see. Mainly nothing across western Nebraska, but let's take a look over in the eastern half as we see over an inch up in northern Nebraska. Over in the east, we mainly saw around 2, where Lincoln got around maybe 3 to 4 inches, while the main areas that were hit was along the I-80 corridor in south central Nebraska, over in the Kearney and the Tri-Cities, where some places saw 6 inches and other places saw 4 inches. I'll be back with more weather right after the break. Back to you.
University of Nebraska Foundation concluded their annual Glow Big Red fundraiser yesterday at noon. Glow Big Red is a 24-hour fundraiser in which students, staff, alumni, as well as supporters can donate to the UNL organization of their choosing. For the first time in their 7-year history, Glow Big Red brought in over $1 million in donations with a record 7,241 gifts. The foundation's Director of Public Relations, Connie White, says these funds will help student experiences in classes and activities.
say Glow Big Red is all about the student experience. We really want students to have the very best possible experience they can have at UNL, and Glow Big Red really supports that and enhances opportunities for Husker students.
Nebraska Athletics, the College of Agricultural Sciences and Natural Resources, and the College of Business topped the list of recipients, bringing in $400,000 between the three of them. Nebraska men's golf, women's gymnastics, and volleyball teams received the most donations of the specific athletics programs, averaging more than $18,000 for the three organizations. For more information and a full list of recipients, visit glowbigred.unl.edu.
And earlier today, Lincoln Public Schools announced 3 new Focus Program administrators who will start on July 1st. Associate Principal of Northeast High School, Darla Burks, will be the administrator for the Arts and Humanities Focus Program. Burks started teaching for LPS in 2000, but served multiple other roles over the years, such as an instructional coach for the curriculum department and improvement coordinator at Lincoln High.
Instructional coordinator Brenna Alonso will administer the Bay High Focus program. Prior to working for North Star High School, Alonso taught at Norwood Park Elementary and East High School.
LPS's continuous improvement coordinator Lindsay Roy will administer the Science Focus program. Roy was the school district's science and digital learning coordinator for 4 years. She started working for LPS in 2019 as a math teacher at Moore Middle School.
Nebraska Athletics and Aramark announced their new multi-year partnership yesterday. It puts Aramark in charge of all game day food and beverage service at UNL-operated stadiums. Nebraska joins Iowa, Washington, and Minnesota as the 4th Big Ten school to partner with the award-winning food service provider. Though the partnership, Aramark looks to help Nebraska transition into selling alcohol at all athletic venues, as well as improve the speed of service, increase variety of food and beverage offerings, as well as assist in developing renovations to Memorial Stadium. Aramark President and CEO Allison Birdwell expressed the company's excitement in a release. Quote, "We are thrilled to partner with Nebraska Athletics as we grow our presence in the Big Ten and throughout the NCAA. We eagerly anticipate welcoming Cornhusker fans and showcasing our hospitality on every game day."
And the Lincoln Police Department announced a new traffic safety enforcement campaign, which will last until late February. After receiving a grant from the Nebraska Department of Transportation Highway Safety Office, LPD says officers with advanced training in traffic enforcement will patrol areas with high instances of traffic offenses. The campaign comes just 2 days after LPD's previous campaign focusing on drunk and impaired driving during Super Bowl weekend. The new campaign runs until Wednesday, February 26th.
A sinkhole appeared in the street yesterday while Lincoln Transportation and utility crews were working to clear the roads. The sinkhole appeared around 8 a.m. Thursday morning near the intersection of Worthington Avenue and Lake Street. Resident Marty Link says the sinkhole was caused by multiple factors.
Well, from what I understand, there was a water main break, and then that water would have swirled around and dug out this dirt around it, and then things fell in. And I think snowplow maybe fell into it or something, or the edge of it.
Lincoln Transportation and Utilities crews were filled in the sinkhole by early Thursday afternoon. However, the section of road affected by it will remain closed until it can be paved over. Coming up on Nebraska Nightly.
Another look at this week's upcoming weather forecast.
And how the president feels about pennies. Stick with us.
Social media is a daily part of many college students' lives, something we've become used to, but it can also be overwhelming and draining. Studies show that taking regular breaks from social media reduces stress and improves mental health. Too much screen time has been proven to increase anxiety, while stepping away helps you reconnect with the world around you. Take a break. Protect your mental health.
The need for blood never stops. And at the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, your blood could help save lives. Right now, only 7% of the population donates blood. But imagine if there were more.
We're sitting at below a 7-day level of supply of all blood types across the board. So every blood type is important, and we need all donors of all types to come in and donate right now.
At the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, they believe that all types make a strong blood supply.
Many of the brands you love don't love animals like you do. Look at the labels of products you use for a bunny logo signifying they don't lab test on animals. Check the label for those who aren't able. Start making the shift by visiting crueltyfreekitty.com today.
Welcome back. Let's take a current look over at our capital city's currents right now, where it's 37 degrees, a southerly 13-mile-per-hour wind, and quite nice outside compared to the past couple days. But taking a look at the rest of the states, they're mainly going to be in the similar temperatures thanks to a lot of that cloud cover. So mid-30s over in eastern Nebraska, but there is that little isolated 46 up over in Scotts Bluff. Let's take a look at the satellite across the United States. Pretty cloudy day, especially up in the Great Lakes region. Zooming in more to Nebraska, we can see where we had those clouds up in northeastern Nebraska with a lot of that snow right there still covering the screen. So still snowy. Taking a look at the radar, nothing so far. It's been pretty clear today for the most part. While taking a look at the next NAMS model, we'll be seeing those storms right to go through, but we're going to refresh this quick, and then we'll be seeing those storms. This is going to be your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, probably going right through there. And we'll see another one coming over from the west, bring that into Monday. So there are going to be chances over the weekend and up to Monday and Tuesday for rain and snow. As we see here, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, 70, 60, 70, and 50%. By Tuesday, it tapers off to 30, and by Wednesday through Friday, it should be quite a dry day. Taking a look at your Valentine evening planner, if you have anything going on, at 7 p.m. it's going to be on 33 degrees, 9 p.m. 29 degrees, and at 11 p.m. 28 degrees. For tomorrow, the high will be 25. There is going to be some AM snow possible with a northerly wind around 20 to 30 miles per hour, and gusts are going to be up to around 37 miles per hour. Taking a look at the week ahead, we'll be seeing those temperatures go quite low, as by around Tuesday to Wednesday, we should be seeing single digits with very, very cold lows. But as we get into around Wednesday through Friday, we'll be seeing those sunshine come back after a bunch of snows as we get to more sunny conditions over into Friday. So it should be quite, hopefully, a good weekend, and hopefully next Friday.
Now, Logan, I have to ask, do you see another snow day in our future anytime soon?
Unfortunately, here in Nebraska, I don't think so. Maybe in the south, it'd probably be a snow day, even if it's just like a fraction of an inch. But here, sadly, I don't think so. For the Saturday, for the weekend, it's going to be around maybe 1 to 2 inches with heavier amounts, especially in Omaha and Lincoln.
Well, you know, a girl can dream. Thanks, Logan. Earlier this week, President Donald Trump instructed the U.S. Treasury to stop minting new 1-cent coins. As he says, it costs more to make them than they're worth.
Maribel Gonzalez spoke to experts about how this could help or hurt your pockets.
Sides of the same coin.
We need the penny. You see them lying on the sidewalk, people don't even pick them up.
A debate after President Donald Trump ordered the U.S. Treasury to stop minting new pennies, describing it as, quote, wasteful.
I've been advocating this for, about a decade and a half.
Economics professor Robert Waples points to the cost of production. According to the latest annual report from the U.S. Mint, it costs 3.7 cents to make a penny and 13.8 cents to make a nickel.
We taxpayers lose money every time that we, produce extra pennies. The problem is on us because when we get change, we don't bring it back to the store.
Instead, Waples proposes a system of rounding up to the nearest nickel.
If it's $2.01, it gets round to 2. If it's $1.99, it gets round to 2. And those two things basically cancel out in the thousands and thousands of transactions that occur.
But penny advocates like Mark Weller from Americans for Common Sense disagree.
There's billions of transactions that take place under $25, and those are mostly made in cash. And so you're going to have a rounding tax on the people that can least afford it.
Weller says phasing out the 1-cent coin could cost us a pretty penny.
The penny does cost a little bit more than its face value, but the nickel costs 14 cents right now. So how are you going to save money if you start making more nickels that are costing more money?
I'm Maribel Gonzalez reporting.
When we return,
find out how some Huskers spent their Valentine's Eve, all after the break.
Okay, so how about this much?
I don't know.
Well, how about this much?
I don't know.
How about Maybe this much?
I don't know.
The very tip of your pencil, a fraction of a raindrop, 3 grains of salt. That's how much it takes for a dose of fentanyl to become lethal. Learn more at realdealonfentanyl.com.
Done for the day?
Yeah, just kind of maxed out on people.
Is there anything you wanted to talk about?
You know, thanks for asking. I have been feeling just kind of off lately.
Do you want me to
Concerned about a friend? Just ask and refer them to counseling and psychological services at UNL.
Welcome back to Nebraska Nightly.
Love is in the air, or rather, it was at the Nebraska Union. UNL Nightlife held their annual Cupid's Mixer yesterday.
Nebraska Nightly's Nick Mealy has more.
The Cupid's Mixer event for its second year to celebrate Valentine's Day. The Cupid's Mixer is a free event hosted by Campus Nightlife as a way for students to meet organically in a controlled setting.
It's all about Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, all these dating apps, right? And so we want people to have the right atmosphere, a controlled atmosphere where they can meet someone safely and that they can meet someone who is on this campus or that they would have common interests with.
Upon entering, attendees were assigned a color group and then told to mix and match accordingly during rounds. Whether they were looking for the next love of their life or just a friend for the evening, they were all given the chance to exchange contact information.
It's a chance to improve and make new connections and expand your social network, I suppose, if you want to.
There were plenty of Shirley Temples and treat bags to keep guests busy while they weren't chatting. Participants also had the opportunity to enter the raffle for a prize of chocolates, a plushie, or a mini charcuterie board. Campus Nightlife plans to bring Cupid's Mixer back next year because of its growing success.
A couple from last year actually got engaged this past October, I believe, actually.
For more information about upcoming Campus Nightlife events, follow their Instagram at UNL Campus Nightlife. Nick Mealy, Nebraska Nightly.
And coming up after the break,
Husker softball wins this morning.
And Nebraska women win big at Maryland. Stick with us. Tonight on Nebraska Nightly.
On average, every Big Ten student wastes 112 pounds of garbage each year, but there's a fix. Make sure you use an Aussie when you dine in and be a part of the change.
Nearly 1 in 3 Husker students struggle with food insecurity. Husker Pantry addresses food insecurity and a welcoming space by providing free food and personal items to UNL students in need. Due to high demand, the pantry often runs out of essential items. Help keep the pantry stocked by donating the most needed items. From canned food to personal items and cleaning supplies, you can make a difference by donating. Learn how to donate by visiting pantry.unl.edu.
Welcome back to Nebraska Nightly. I'm Trey Marler.
Snow on the ground outside must mean the start of Husker baseball season, right? Nebraska's baseball heads west to Arizona to kick off their 2025 campaign and defend their Big Ten title as they face off with UC Irvine this afternoon. Top of the first, Jacob McCone drives this one in the gap. That one scores Chase called all Anteaters in the top of the first. Huskers looking for some life. Mason McConaughey with the strikeout. Huskers plate 2 behind him. UC Irvine continuing to pile it on in Arizona. Colin Yeaman with the bases clearing triple. All Anteaters in this one. They are up 10-2 in the bottom of the 8th. The top 20 ranked Huskers softball is back in action in New Mexico. First game of a 2-game Friday was this morning as they crushed Texas A&M Corpus Christi 20-1. They are back in action right now as they face off with New Mexico State. They are up 7-0 in the top of the 4th. To the hardwood, where Nebraska women's basketball is looking to snap a 3-game skid on the road at Maryland. And on top of that, earn win number 250 for head coach Amy Williams. Huskers looking for their second top 25 win of the season. First quarter all Terps early. Cheyenne Sellers to the cup. Maryland up by 12. Huskers starting to catch fire. Alberti Rimdahl buries the triple. The Huskers and Terrapins are all not up at 45 at the break. Second half, Alexis Markowski from range. She would finish with a team high 20 points. Nebraska in full control late. Alberti Rimdahl hits another. All Huskers on the road as they defeat number 17 Maryland 91-71. Back in Lincoln, it's the men also facing off with Maryland. First half, Derek Queen with the tough finish at the bucket. Maryland out in front early. Back come the Huskers, Jawan Gary from beyond the arc. Nebraska trails by 7 at the break. Second half, more from Gary, this time with the steal from Andrew Morgan and the slam by Jawan. Huskers trying to come back from behind all night long. Maryland looking to cap off a road victory. Julian Reese with the big-time flush. Nebraska has their chances but can't come through. Terrapins win 83-75. As the NFL gets in full swing, 4 Huskers got the call to attend the NFL Combine in April. Tight end Thomas Fedoni II, wide receiver Isaiah Nayor, defensive lineman Ty Robinson, and defensive back Tommy Hill all get the chance to show off in front of scouts in Lucas Oil Stadium. One notable Husker to not get invited was defensive lineman Nash Hutmaker.
Happy about the women's basketball, but unfortunate for the guys, right?
Right. You know what? I'm just excited to see the Huskers back in Haymarket Park.
Huskers back in Haymarket Park. It's going to be a little while. Obviously, there's snow on the ground, as Logan told us earlier. Their first game in Haymarket is the first week of March against Wichita State. Still a couple weekends down. They're in Arizona and Florida. A lot warmer here in Lincoln. But Haymarket Park in early March is coming up for
me. Spring is coming, right? And when we return,
find out where you can find some live music this weekend.
And how you are never too young to celebrate Valentine's Day after the break.
Of the 40 million tons of plastic waste generated in the U.S. in 2021, only 5% or 2 million tons was recycled. Make sure you do your part in keeping Anderson Hall clean. For more information on recycling statistics, visit epa.gov today.
Welcome back. If music is the food of love, then downtown Lincoln is the place to be.
Nebraska Nightly's Jackson Ingolstadt has all you need to know about Lincoln's local music scene.
The time of the season for loving, it is also the time of the season for music.
Lincoln Exposed is a 4-day-long music festival here in Lincoln that is currently ongoing. Having started last Wednesday, the music festival caters to all audiences with genres of every kind.
All of it is just like one of the most beautiful things. Like, this is the hub of art.
And the venue of Lincoln Exposed? Everywhere. You can find the live music scattered around downtown Lincoln, including the world-famous Zoo Bar, the Bourbon, 1867 Bar, and more.
Every genre of music, from country to heavy metal to punk to soul to hip-hop, like all of it is included and celebrated.
This year's artists range from Josh Hoyer and the Soul Colossal, who was named Best Band at this year's International Blues Challenge, to the Vix, which is made up of college-aged kids.
I was always scared to play here because it's called blues bar, and we're not a blues band.
No, I'd say it's a good opportunity for people who don't usually get the chance to play at local bars to sort of get out and share their own music and originals.
And the support from fans this year has been astounding.
Oh, it was bigger than I thought it was, yeah. A lot of people actually ended up popping out tonight.
There are only 2 more nights of Lincoln Exposed, so make sure to enjoy the jams while you can.
Just come celebrate and be a part of it. It's worth your while for sure.
For Nebraska Nightly, I'm Jackson Ingolstad.
And although most of the Valentine's Day celebrations today are just beginning, one special group celebrated early.
A few newborns in Nebraska experiencing their first Valentine's Day in style.
In honor of the holiday, the babies at Nebraska Medicine's NICU were dressed up in heart-shaped costumes.
The March of Dimes NICU family support programs helped nurses come up with the clothing. Officials displayed these pictures Thursday on the hospital's website. The city streets will be pretty busy tonight, it seems.
Let's take one last look on what we can expect for this weekend's Valentine's festivities. Logan?
Yeah, taking a look at over the Valentine's Day, it should be pretty nice overall. Around 7 p.m. 33 degrees, 9 p.m. 29, 11 p.m. 28. For that week ahead, we'll be seeing those temperatures start to take a trend down. As we see from Monday on to Wednesday and Thursday, we'll be seeing single digits, but by Friday we should see the return of double digits.
Okay, so it's going to get kind of chilly.
We get snow for one time after a long time and no snow, and it's just like, we'll just throw it on, throw it on.
You know, at least with baseball coming up.
At least with baseball we can feel warm.
Exactly. That means we're getting there. We're getting
something
there.
to look forward to for sure. Even though I do love snow, but not this much.
I do love snow, but not when it's brown slush all over the road.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's the right point. I like it the first time, and after it turns all that slush, not anymore.
Sunday night was pretty when it was that nice white layer over the top, but now it's just brown.
Yeah, no, and just in the way now. Yeah. Well, thank you all for tuning in to Nebraska Nightly. We'll see you on Tuesday.
Have a good night and happy Valentine's Day.
Nebraska Nightly is a production of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln's College of Journalism and Mass Communications.